Level 1. The nobody. Your apartment lease expired 2 weeks ago. You're sleeping on a friend's couch who has stopped being subtle about wanting you gone. Your phone has 3 apps: a job board, a banking app that shows $140, and a browser with 17 open tabs of unanswered applications. You are not special. You are not connected. You are exactly the kind of person that systems are not designed for. Then an envelope appears under the door. No stamp, no return address, one card inside. The right people have been watching the wrong person for too long. If you're ready, you know what to do. There's a number. You tell yourself you won't text it. You text it at 2 a.m. level 2, the chosen. You wake up to an email from a consulting firm you've never heard of. The offer is real. Verified address, legitimate website, $180,000 base salary. You start Monday. The work makes no sense at first, but every time you're lost, your phone buzzes. An unknown number tells you exactly which report to reference, which person to align with, which meeting to speak in. You follow the instructions without questioning them, because the instructions are always right. 6 months in, you've been promoted twice. Your colleagues think you're brilliant. You're not brilliant. You're receiving signals and executing them perfectly, which in most professional environments is indistinguishable from brilliance. A late-night message from the unknown number reads, "Remember who built you." You screenshot it. Then you delete it. Then you pretend you don't know what it means. Level 3. The collector. You receive an invitation to a private dinner in a brownstone on the Upper East Side. No dress code listed because everyone already knows. The room contains a senator, 2 hedge fund executives, a former national security advisor, and people whose names you don't recognize, but whose weight in the room is undeniable. Your instructions are simple. Listen, remember, report. You are introduced as a consultant. People talk freely around consultants. You learn more in 1 evening than you have in 6 months of working. You report everything. The legislation one senator is privately opposing, the acquisition another executive is quietly planning, the divorce that is about to become a very public liability. The number replies, "Excellent. You are ready for the next phase." You realize you have not had a conversation in 3 months that wasn't, in some way, an assignment. Level 4. The operator. You are moving markets now, not predicting them, moving them. Your phone tells you which stocks to recommend before announcements that haven't been made yet. A single memo from you causes your firm to shift $400 million in 24 hours. 3 days later, the market does exactly what you positioned for. You pocket $3 million in a single quarter. Nobody questions it. When you're consistently right, people stop asking how and start asking what's next. You buy a penthouse, you buy the car, you attend Davos and sit next to people whose faces are on magazine covers and say nothing, because saying nothing is the most powerful thing you can do in a room like that. You also know, because your instructions told you, that the tech sector crash last month was not random. You were positioned before it happened. Thousands of people lost retirement savings that week. You slept fine. That fact cost you something small and permanent. Level 5. The ghost. You are pulled from finance. Your new assignment is a Senate race in Wisconsin. You receive $12 million in an account you didn't open and instructions to make a specific candidate win. You hire the best people. You bury opposition research so damaging that the other campaign never recovers. On election night, your candidate wins by 11 points. You watch from a hotel bar in Madison and feel nothing in particular. 2 weeks later, you have 4 more races. You have no public profile. You do not exist in campaign filings. But the people you're installing, senators, governors, state attorney general, they know exactly who put them there, which means they know exactly who they owe. You are the invisible architecture behind visible power. You are a ghost who writes laws. Level 6, the 12. You are invited to a compound in Montana. First in-person meeting. 12 people in the room. You recognize 3 of them from history books. They don't shake hands. They don't introduce themselves. They tell you the next phase is international. They tell you that nation-states are inefficient instruments and that the real levers are economic. They tell you that you've been selected because you understand leverage better than anyone they've brought up in a decade. You fly home, and you do not tell anyone where you've been, which has become your permanent condition. Level 7. The architect. You are given a country, not to visit, to destabilize. A government that is redirecting resource contracts away from the network's interests. You don't travel there. You make phone calls. You move $18 million to opposition groups, $6 million to military officials who have been assessed as persuadable, $3 million to media operations that will spend the next 4 months making the current president appear incompetent and corrupt, which he is, but that's not why you're doing it. 7 months later, there is a transition of power. The new leadership signs the contracts within their first week in office. You have just moved $40 billion in economic influence without leaving your apartment on Palm Beach. You host a dinner the following weekend. The guests drink your wine and discuss the next project. This is your life now. This is your dinner table. Level 8. The I. You own an island. Not a home on an island. An island. Guests fly in, royalty, ministers, technology executives, celebrities whose public personas are completely inconsistent with what they do when they believe they are not being watched. You record everything, every conversation, every room, every indulgence. You don't threaten anyone directly. You don't need to. Everyone who lands on your island already understands the transaction. They will vote correctly, legislate correctly, stay silent correctly, or the recordings will find the right journalist. You have leverage on 4 sitting heads of state, 11 senators, and 2 Supreme Court justices. The FBI opens an inquiry into your island. You make 1 call. The inquiry is reassigned. Power is only power when it works quietly. Yours has never made a sound. Level 9. The collapse. It starts with a leak. One of the 12 is talking. You don't know who, but the information surfacing in federal filings is too specific to be coincidental. A journalist in Washington publishes a story that gets close enough to be dangerous. You kill it through the usual channels. Then another. Then a sealed indictment surfaces with your name on it, which should be impossible given who controls the relevant prosecutors. The walls do not collapse suddenly. They compress. Slowly. Then all at once. Your security team wakes you at 4 a.m. You hear the helicopter before you see the lights. You are calm. You have survived investigations before. You have the judges, the connections, the infrastructure. Then you are in handcuffs, and the calm begins to separate from you. And underneath it is something you have not felt since the couch and the $140 and the unanswered applications. Level 10. The cell. Maximum security. Isolated unit. Your lawyers are filing every motion available. You have 3 federal judges who owe you outcomes that cannot be discussed in public. You will be out in weeks. You are certain of this. Then the cell door opens at 3 a.m. It is not a guard. It is someone in a uniform that is almost correct, but not quite. They close the door behind them quickly. You start to stand. You don't finish. The Illuminati protects its assets until the asset becomes the liability. You became the liability the moment they decided you did.